Hello, thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm doing another book recommendations video, which I don't tend to do that often. I kind of plan to make this a sort of series. Today I'm doing book recommendations based off of your favourite Disney princess film. And I haven't got all of them here, I've only got 5. Otherwise this video would be quite long. But I do plan to probably do a part 2 at some point with some of the other Disney princess movies. So if I haven't got your favourite one here, then feel free to comment your favourite movie and I'll try and include it in a part 2. First of all, I would just like to apologise for the fact that last week I didn't upload at all. I usually try to upload at least once a week. I think it's mainly because I've recently come back to school after doing like online school, and so I was just kind of, I think I was exhausted. You know, school's not fun for me. I don't like school. There's a lot of socialising involved. So I think, yeah, and I was kind of busy as well. So I feel like if I do ever just not upload for 1 week, that's probably why. I mean, actually next couple of weeks, we call it Easter holidays over here. So hopefully I'll be able to upload more, and also I think in the Easter holidays I'm probably gonna just pre-record a couple of videos in case I ever don't feel like actually filming because of school. The first movie thing that I'm recommending a book for, I'm not sure what I'm doing with my hands. The first film that I'm recommending a book for is Tangled. Which is the Rapunzel film, if you weren't already aware. I think you probably should be aware if you're watching this video, I've got to be honest. If not, go and look it up and watch it. It's a really good film and I would recommend it. For this one, I'm recommending the book Eve of Man. This, I'd say, out of all the books that I'm going to recommend, I think this is the most likely that if you like this film, you'll enjoy this book. This is a dystopian. For 50 years, no girls were being born, like only boys were being born. And then suddenly a girl was born. And then so 16 years later, it's Eve. She's the girl that was born. And she's the last girl on Earth. And so she spent all her life living in the tower. You know, she's starting to have to actually face her destiny, and she kind of wants freedom. So she meets this boy called Bram, who she's actually met quite a few times before, because basically she is this projection as a friend, and it's hard to explain. I think if you read the book you'll understand what I'm talking about, but yeah, so she is a projection, and so that she is company, and there are these 3 guys that pilot it, and Bram is one of the guys that pilot it. But you know, she actually ends up meeting him face to face, and they kind of fall in love, and she decides she actually wants control over her life and not to have to reproduce with one of the 3 guys that have been specially selected for her. And so it's kind of about her getting out and Bram helping her. And then there is a sequel, because I think it's like a series, yeah, which I just finished reading the sequel like last night, and it was, oh my god, it was amazing. I loved it. I would recommend. I feel like out of all of these, if you like Tangled, you're most likely to like Eve of Man as well. No, I think also if you like the movie Brave, you'd like this book as well. But that's not a Disney princess movie, so I'm not recommending it. Okay, I'm not. Next up we have Aladdin, the Disney movie with the best music out of all of them, I've got to be honest. Don't come at me, it's great.
Princess Jasmine?
Who's there?
It's me, Prince Ali.
Prince Ali Babwa.
I do not want to see you.
No, please, Princess, give me a chance.
Just leave me.
for Aladdin, I'm recommending the book The Wrath and the Dawn. I haven't actually read the full book. I've read it, like, I've read the webtoon of it. I don't know when, but I really enjoyed that. It's about a girl and she lives in this kind of, I don't know what country she lives in. It's a fantasy, but I'm not sure which country, but there's a king of the country and he's notorious for marrying wives. He's had a few, and then, you know, by the next dawn he has them executed. So this girl decides to kind of go and become his wife. I think it's because her best friend also became one of his wives and then he killed her. And so she's like, okay, well, I'll become your wife and I'll kill you. She's planning his murder. And then so to keep herself alive, she tells him a story, which is kind of, the story is definitely Aladdin based, or Aladdin was based off of the story, I don't know which one. But yeah, it feels kind of like an Aladdin retelling, and she starts telling him it and then he's like, no, keep telling me it, and then she's just like, well, you're gonna have to wait until tomorrow night to hear the rest. And so that's what's kind of keeping her alive. And then I think the king kind of starts to fall in love with her, and then I'm not going to go too much into too much more detail because yes, that would be spoiling the book, but I would recommend it. Also, again, I'm going to recommend Eve of Man again because I feel like with the whole Jasmine plotline, who's the princess in Aladdin, and her kind of, again, breaking free from her future, which is sort of set in stone, that's quite similar to Eve of Man. So I feel like you might like Eve of Man if you like Aladdin, but I can't guarantee that. I mean, I can't guarantee any of these, but like, yeah, you might. I recommend checking it out anyway. So the next movie that I'm recommending a book for is Mulan.
Order! People, order! I'd like a pan-fried noodle. Sweet and pungent shrimp. That's not funny. Looks like our new friend slept in this morning. Hello, Ping. Are you hungry? Yeah, because I owe you a knuckle sandwich.
Soldiers!
Which I'd say is probably one of my favourite Disney princess movies. I think it's really cool. And for this movie, I'm recommending the book The Gilded One. Is editing now here? I know I look really bad. I just realised I was editing and I was like, I explained the plot of The Gilded Ones so badly. Yeah. Basically it's about this girl called Deka, and she lives in this country that I've completely forgotten the name of at the moment because I keep getting it confused with like Orisha from Children of Blood and Bone because they're very similar. But basically every year when girls turn 16 they have this kind of purity ritual, which is basically where they get cut, and then if their blood turns red they're pure, and if their blood runs gold, or I mean any other colour really, they're impure, and so they get kicked out and like never seen again. And the purity ritual kind of tests if they are able to like get married and live a normal life basically. And so Deka does a purity ritual and she's impure, so she's taken away to this cave by like the village elders, and they kind of torture her and they kill her like 9 times, but she always comes back. And eventually this woman turns up and she's like, hey, I work for the emperor, and he runs an army of like a secret army, I think, or he's currently training one of girls like you called Alaki, which are impure, but you know they're descended from demons, and so you know they fight, they're warriors, and so she goes with her and starts training to be a warrior, and that's where I'm gonna leave it because otherwise I'll probably spoil it. I think also you might like the Poppy War. I haven't read them, but they give off very Mulan-y kind of vibes, and I've heard a couple of other people recommend the Poppy War for like fans of Mulan, so maybe check that out as well. Next movie that I'm recommending a book for is Cinderella.
Now remember, when you're presented to His Highness, be sure...
Wait! Please, wait for me! Isn't it lovely?
think it will do? Mother, she can't. No, you just can't.
Girls, please. After all, we did make a bargain, didn't we, Cinderella? And I never go back on my word. How very clever. These beads, they give it just the right touch.
And for this, I'm going to recommend the book Sagas of Anya. This is kind of like, it's kind of like a Cinderella story. It's got that kind of trope, except I'd say it's kind of a little bit in reverse. Like, her life starts off good and then it ends bad. Or, it doesn't end bad. I'm not going to tell you how it ends because that's kind of a spoiler, but it's not exactly perfect. Yeah, so it's kind of like a reverse Cinderella story. It's a historical fiction set in the Victorian times, and it's about an 11-year-old girl called Anya, and you know, she's living a happy life. She's having fun kind of in this middle class family, I think they are. And then her mum dies and everything kind of goes downhill from there. I'm not going to specify too much, but I think if you like Cinderella, this is kind of a light-hearted, I say light-hearted, I always describe this as light-hearted. It's got a lot of death and illness in it, but it's kind of nice to read. It's quite quick, and yeah, I don't know, I'd recommend it for fans of Cinderella. And then finally, the last movie that I'm recommending for is Frozen.
It's too steep. I've only got one rope and you don't know how to climb mountains.
Says who?
What are you doing?
I'm going to see my sister.
You're gonna kill yourself. I wouldn't put my foot there.
You're distracting me.
Or there. How do you know Elsa even wants to see you?
All right, I'm just blocking you out because I gotta concentrate here.
You know, most people who disappear into the mountains want to be alone.
Nobody wants to be alone. Except maybe you.
I'm not alone.
Which technically isn't a Disney princess movie, it's not classed as one, but most people kind of see it as one, so I'm counting it. For that, I'm recommending the book What Would Boudica Do? This is actually a non-fiction book. You know, lots of remarkable women in history and how they dealt with everyday kind of problems, and yeah, so like what would Boudica do? I don't really know how to describe this book very well, but I feel like you might like it, especially the part about Fidel Mundo. And it's about how her sister inspired her and stuff. It's just about sisterhood, that bit. But yeah, I think there's a chance you will really enjoy it. If not, I think I'd also recommend the graphic novel series, The Lumberjanes. They're set in a summer camp, and the 5 main characters are in the Roanoke cabin, and it's kind of a fantasy, and they have lots of different adventures. I don't want to go too into detail because I don't want to spoil it, but I think you might also like this. That's all the recommendations that I have for now. I can't guarantee you that you'll like all these books if you like the movie, but I think you might, and I reckon it's worth giving it a go if you're looking for a good recommendation. I tried to also recommend books that I haven't really recommended that much before on my channel. So yeah, people are less likely to have read it, I think. I don't know. But yeah, as I said before, I'm planning to kind of make this a series, and I'll probably end up doing a part 2. So if you do have a particular Disney princess movie that I didn't mention here that you'd like to see a recommendation for, then please let me know. And also, I'm planning to make this a series not just about Disney princess movies, but like other movie franchises as well. I think I'm also planning to do one for Marvel movies. So if you have any other kind of movie franchises that you'd like me to do this for, then again, let me know in the comments, and I'll try and do them. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you do enjoy these book recommendations. Bye.